You've been inside all day. Screens, artificial light, recycled air, the same four walls. And then you step outside. Not for long, not for any particular reason. And something shifts. The tightness in your chest loosens slightly. Your thoughts slow down. Something that felt urgent 10 minutes ago feels a little less so. You didn't do anything. You just went outside. And the fact that it worked, that it always works, for almost every person who tries it, is not a coincidence. It's not placebo. It's not fresh air in the simple sense. It's something far older than any explanation you've been given for it. Your nervous system was not built for indoors. It was built for this. And every time you step outside, part of your brain recognizes something it has been waiting to recognize all day. To understand why, you have to understand what your nervous system actually is. It is not a general-purpose processing system that adapts equally well to any environment. It is a highly specific biological instrument, calibrated over hundreds of thousands of years in one particular type of environment. Open, natural, outdoor space with variable light, ambient sound, moving air, and a visible horizon. That is the environment your nervous system was built in. That is the environment it still expects. Every other environment, including the indoor spaces where most modern humans now spend more than 90% of their lives, is a deviation from the baseline your brain was designed around. And your brain notices. The first thing that changes when you step outside is light. Natural light is not simply brighter than artificial light. It is spectrally different. It contains a full range of wavelengths that shifts continuously throughout the day, from the blue heavy spectrum of morning, through the warmer tones of afternoon, into the red shifted light of evening. Your brain uses this shifting spectrum as its primary clock, regulating cortisol, melatonin, alertness, and mood through a system called the circadian rhythm that was calibrated entirely on natural light cycles. Artificial light disrupts this system in ways that are now well documented. It is spectrally flat, temporally fixed, and contains none of the dynamic variation your brain uses to orient itself in time. Spending extended periods under artificial light without natural light exposure creates a low-grade circadian misalignment, your body's internal clock drifting out of sync with actual time, that produces a specific kind of background unease most people never connect to its source. 10 minutes of natural light doesn't fix this entirely, but it gives your brain's light-sensing system exactly the input it was designed to process. And the relief that follows is partly your circadian system receiving the signal it has been waiting for all day. The second thing that changes is sound. Indoor environments are acoustically strange. They contain mechanical noise, HVAC systems, electronics, traffic filtered through walls, at frequencies and rhythms that have no natural equivalent. Your auditory threat detection system, which is always running in the background scanning for meaningful signals, has to continuously process this noise as potential information, even when there is nothing meaningful in it. It is a low-level cognitive load that never switches off. Natural outdoor sound is different. Wind, birds, water, leaves. These are sounds your threat detection system recognizes not as potential signals to evaluate, but as baseline safety indicators. The presence of birdsong in particular is one of the most ancient safety cues in the mammalian system. Birds go quiet when predators are near. An environment full of bird sound is an environment your ancient brain registers as currently safe. This is why natural soundscapes feel restful in a way that silence indoors often doesn't. Silence indoors removes the mechanical noise, but gives your threat system nothing to work with. Natural sound actively tells it that the environment has been checked and cleared. The third thing that changes is something researchers call attention restoration. Your brain has two attention systems. The first is directed attention, the focused, effortful concentration you use for screens, tasks, and deliberate thinking. It is metabolically expensive, and it depletes with use. The second is involuntary attention, the passive, effortless noticing that activates when something in the environment is inherently interesting without demanding focus. Natural environments are almost entirely processed through involuntary attention. A moving cloud, a distant bird, the pattern of light through leaves. Your brain tracks these things without effort, without depletion, and without the sustained directed focus that exhausts the prefrontal cortex over a long day of screens and tasks. This is why 10 minutes outside feels like more recovery than 10 minutes sitting quietly indoors. Indoors, even at rest, your directed attention system stays partially engaged, with screens, with thoughts, with the low-level processing of an environment it never fully relaxes in. Outside, it gets a genuine break, while your involuntary attention handles the environment on its own. Researchers studying this effect, now documented across dozens of studies, call it attention restoration theory. The mechanism is real, measurable, and consistent. Natural environments restore directed attention capacity in ways that built environments simply do not. And underneath all of this is something simpler and older than any of it. For nearly the entire history of your species, being outside was not an activity. It was the default state of existence. Your ancestors were outside for virtually every waking hour of every day, moving through natural environments, processing natural light, hearing natural sound, navigating open space with a visible horizon. Indoors was shelter, a temporary retreat from weather, cold, or threat, not a place to spend the day. Your nervous system still carries this expectation. It still treats outdoor natural environments as the baseline state, the environment where everything is calibrated to work correctly, and indoor environments as the exception that requires continuous low-level adjustment. This is why the relief you feel after 10 minutes outside is so immediate and so consistent. It is not the 10 minutes doing something special. It is your nervous system stopping the continuous background work of adjusting to an environment it was never built for, and returning, briefly, to the one it was. The indoor world is extraordinary. The things humans have built inside it, the technology, the medicine, the connection, the warmth, are genuinely remarkable achievements. But your nervous system didn't get the update. It still expects sky. It still expects birdsong. It still expects light that shifts, and air that moves, and a horizon it can scan. And every time you step outside and feel something loosen, that is not a small thing. That is not placebo. That is not just fresh air. That is your brain, briefly, coming home.